Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
And welcome to the Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw. Eric can't be with us this evening, unfortunately. He's out washing his tights. However, I have the namesake for Mike White March here with me, the one and only host of the Projection Booth podcast, Mr. Mike White.
Satan!
I swear to God, I figured that's what you were going to do. Or you were going to go, no cops, no cops.
Get your Spanish on my moles.
Oh my God. So, this month, this Mike White March, because this is our second year of doing it now, I turned the reins over of programming to, I would say one of my best friends. You know, he's a guy that I talk to more regularly than pretty much anyone else, except for maybe like my wife. And I let him program an entire month of podcasts for us. And it's often, at least two years in a row now, it's something that I have no exposure to. So, Mike, I'm curious, before we talk about what movie we're going to be talking about this episode, why did you pick Ozploitation?
Well, I kind of cheated, and Ozploitation is something that I am not overly familiar with either, and I wanted to see more of these films, so I asked an Australian friend of mine to recommend some titles, and I told him some of the movies I had seen, and he said, okay, I will give you other ones that you should see that you haven't seen. And that is our list this month of both the print articles for Culture Shocked and the podcast that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, and so I'm actually looking forward to it. It's, you know, like you said, it's something I have no experience with. I'm going to go on a limb here and say something that might shock you, but I've never seen the original Mad Max. Or the second Mad Max. I've seen Fury Road, but I mean, you know, it's like Karate Kid or some of those other movies from the 70s and 80s. Like, I've never seen Rocky either. Like, does that discredit me as a film critic? No, it's just I've never gotten around to seeing a movie that I know how it ends.
I only just watched Mad Max, the original, all the way through for the first time about 2 hours ago, because I've only seen the American dubbed version, and that I've only seen a couple times, whereas Road Warrior, Mad Max 2, I've seen that. I was trying to figure out a good number, and I'm not exaggerating when I say about 200 times.
Yep, I've never seen any of them. And I've seen, obviously, Fury Road is pretty much like a reboot, right? I mean, it's not, I don't know what you would classify Fury Road as, but it's not canon with the original 2 films.
There are 3 original films, by the way.
Oh, right.
No problem. Just letting you know.
There's 3. And you know how many of them I haven't seen any of them, so there you go. There's Mad Max 1, 2, and then Thunderdome,
yeah,
right?
Thunderdome is very uneven.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But Ozploitation, I mean, look, everyone's favorite plagiaristic auteur, Quentin Tarantino, loves Ozploitation. He has yet to make an Ozploitation film. I guess you could kind of say the first half of Kill Bill 2 kind of is, sort of.
I think his character in Django Unchained might have been a little bit of a nod there, with that horrible Australian accent he was trying to pull.
Sure. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino maybe stay on the side of the camera where you're better at stealing from people than trying to act. But regardless, I never had no experience with Ozploitation, so this is exciting, just like last year with Japanese New Wave. So I would ask you why you picked Stone from 1974, but it sounds like you're actual Australian. We have an actual Australian who helped program this month, so it gives us a little bit of credibility. Did he tell you why he picked Stone?
Well, Stone, even without having Morris tell me to watch this film, I knew of this film by its reputation because it was such a touchstone when it came to, and it kills me when they say bikey instead of biker. It was this major landmark bikey film, and it had this lasting influence. You know, you can definitely see where this played into Mad Max, which then played into so many other things. And I remember when the Stone documentary came out, Stone Forever, I think it might have been called. That was a big deal when it had its 25th anniversary. And yeah, so I just knew of this film by its reputation. And then watching it, I was just like, okay, this is kind of cool for about the first 30 minutes. And then it really kind of slopes off after that.
Stone is a trip. I mean a big bike. You've got all power, man. The Gravediggers are on the move. A new breed of motorbike gang.
That's why we're here, man. Together. Because when you're out there riding, man, with the Gravediggers, what can stop us, man? What can stop us? We own the world.
They live in a fortress by the sea. Vietnam veterans with their own style of life, their own rules, their own religion.
Look at me when I speak to you.
They don't seem to make a lot of friends. But now, somebody wants them dead. All of them. So the cops sent Stone.
It's a pig.
Yeah, that's right, I'm a cop. I've been sent to find out who's been killing your mates.
Why would you want to know that?
That's the way I earn my living.
The whole reason we're outlaws is because we're against pigs. And everything a pig is. So how are we going to do our thing with you pigging around us?
Ken Shorter is Stone, working undercover on a deadly mission. Sandy Harbert is the Undertaker, leader of the Gravediggers.
Your law sends young blokes to somebody else's country to fight people they know nothing about. As long as you keep on shooting them, they hang medals on you. When you don't shoot them anymore, they shut you in jail.
The cop and the bike gang. Two lifestyles clash in a suspense thriller you cannot predict.
What's the score, man? You got a pro after you.
Call it!
Go on, man.
Look, man, I didn't want any trouble.
Well, why don't you do something honest, like sell used cars to old ladies?
I'll kill you.
You think we're a pack of imbeciles, don't you?
I'll kill you!
Stone is different. Take the trip.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wonderside comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Directed by Sandy Harbutt. He's in the film as Undertaker. Came out in 1974. It is, like you mentioned, Mike, the kind of precursor to Mad Max in a lot of ways. But it's a counterculture, biker, exploitation. Obviously, it's Ozploitation film. I would agree with you. If we're just going to get right into it, this movie is uneven, to say the least. The later half of this movie, it's 103 minutes. It feels like 2.5 hours. The later half of this film is just like shots of people on motorcycles and like bizarre monologues about like what it means to be a biker in a biker gang, which is cool. I mean, those monologues are cool, but it doesn't help with a film that already is kind of holding on to a threadbare plot as it is. And this film is threadbare with its plot, and then the second half of the film, it completely just says, yeah, there's no fucking plot now. Fuck it. Who cares?
Like, maybe we'll get back to it like the last 10 minutes of the film, kinda.
Yeah. Not even, like the last 8 minutes. And then there's like the fucking scene at the end of the movie that I swear to God I saw it coming, where he's like, I'll be ready for them when they come back. It's like, I'm sure. Here they come through the door to kill you.
Spoilers.
Fuck. Oh, yeah. This is spoiling something. It's a film that I wish not somebody would remake it, but I wish someone would update this movie.
Yeah.
Like, make it again, but not like the same movie, but like cop parts from, like, Quentin Tarantino, come on, you could rip this off. You've never made a biker film. Come on, like, go, just do it. You know you want to. You don't have an original idea in your body anyway, so just rip this movie off. But it's a movie that's almost ripe for remake or like reimagining, because it's an interesting movie and it's an interesting idea.
It's funny because I saw a lot of other movies in this movie, some that came after it, some that came before. The whole idea of this undercover cop in the biker gang, it reminded me a little bit of Cruising for whatever reason. Maybe it was all the leather, but the whole idea of like really coming to understand the people that you're infiltrating. But it's weird. It's not like a real undercover cop kind of thing, because he just walks right in. He's just like, hey, I'm here to join the group. You guys have been getting murdered like crazy, because one of the guys who's played by Hugh Keays-Byrne at the beginning, Toad, he sees a crime being committed, an assassination. So it starts off as an assassin movie, sees this assassination that he shouldn't see, And then the assassin, I guess, figures out what motorcycle gang it is. So he starts taking out people from the group. As all these motorcyclists are dying, I'm thinking of the film Psychomania, which is this supernatural biker film where the bikers are offing themselves so they can come back from the dead and like live the Lord Satan's works. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. But no, they don't come back from the dead. And then after a while, the whole assassination thing just kind of dries up.
And let's talk about Hugh Keays-Byrne here for a second. So, like we were talking about at the beginning with Mad Max, he was toe cutter in the original Mad Max, or the second.
No, it was
Mad
the
Max,
original.
Right? First, second, okay. And then he is Immortan Joe in Mad Max Fury Road, and he's good in this movie. But I honestly thought his name was Turd. It kind of sounded like, you can't fault me, it kind of sounded like they were saying turd.
All right, I can hear that.
Turd. Like, okay, sure, his name's Turd. I mean, I didn't even think anything of it. But he's fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, he is the best part of this movie for me. Every time he's on screen, and some of the weird stuff that he's doing, like that whole scene with the two like straight guys that come into the bar.
Give me a kiss.
Yeah, that is
Give us a kiss.
Really tense. I like it.
I mean, it was fucking great. I mean, that is how you intimidate someone. Like, I may do that next time I go out. I'll just be like, give me a kiss. I mean, I'm not as physically intimidating as Hugh Keays-Byrne is, so probably shouldn't do that. And I'm not in a biker gang, so probably shouldn't do that. But he's great in this movie, which is unfortunate that he's kind of the standout in a group of characters that had a lot of promise for what they could have been.
Right. And some of the other guys that stand out are other ones that I've seen in other films. Like the guy that plays Fifi, the chief in Mad Max. He was like the big guy in this one. I can't remember his character's name, but
Vincent Gill's great.
I think that might be Vincent Gill. So I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool to see him in this. And he's got, oh no, that wasn't Vincent Gill. That's the guy.
No, Vincent Gill's the guy who's like screaming Satan.
He's the guy who apparently just came on set and was like working as a grip for the first bit, and then just hung around and was like, yeah, I'm gonna be this guy too. I'm gonna be an actor as well. Oh, it was Roger Ward that I'm trying to think.
So
of.
that's the thing. You mentioned Stone Forever, which is a really well done documentary about the making of this film and kind of the effect that it's had on Australian culture. I almost, and you know this as well as I do, that this is one of those movies where like the making of it and the behind the scenes and like the effect it's had on the culture is almost more entertaining and interesting than the film itself.
I think so. And I wasn't sure how that documentary was going to play out because the beginning of it looks really cheap and like shot on VHS. But then once it starts going, I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. And it transcends the medium. They do a great job getting these actors to talk about these roles, some of the behind-the-scenes stories, and then intercutting it with some of the actual scenes from the film. I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Again, the issue with this film is, I think, just from like a base storytelling level, is the story that the film is telling is not particularly exciting or interesting, and they don't commit to it.
Right.
If they had committed to it, it would have been great. There's like you said, there's parts of other stuff in here. There's like a political assassination subplot that's like driving the entire film, and they mention it twice at the beginning, and then they've got those like guys in suits that are like, doing the machinations in the background, and that's it. And it's like, what the fuck was all this for? That's like the driving subplot of this film, and it goes nowhere.
Yeah, at one point they're like, this bar is popular with these guys in suits, and I was just like, okay, I guess you're talking about those assassination dudes, but I haven't even thought about them in about a half hour.
And that's the problem, is that there's like 10 minutes of plot, then 30 minutes of just like Ken Shorter as the eponymous Stone dicking around with the Gravediggers, and then there's like 2 minutes of plot, and then there's 30 minutes of monologuing with the Gravediggers, and then there's like 10 minutes of plot at the end. And it's like, you can't do that. You can't do that in a movie because it feels disparate.
Well, even some of those monologues do have the potential of being compelling, like the whole idea of, I was over in Vietnam and I came back, and that whole thing that I think gets lost in translation, where it's like, I guess digger is the same term as like a grunt. So like I was a grunt over there, I'm a grunt over here, but instead I was a digger over there and I'm a grave digger over here. It's like, oh, okay. So like it has that whole like John Rambo, disaffected, coming back from the war kind of a thing, which, as an American, I don't think about other countries that were involved in the Vietnam War. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there were Vietnam vets over in Australia too. And just like in America, they were lost and looking for something. And here they had a social group with these other guys. And then you introduced like the Hawks or whatever, that other, the Black Hawks. And I was just like, I really don't need this. I guess they're going to use these guys as like red herrings later on. And they do. But I really didn't need any of that stuff. I didn't necessarily need the conflict with another group. I was okay with some of the interpersonal conflicts.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
That were happening, but more than anything, I would have liked to have had that extra gang related stuff of the assassination stuff. Like, why was that guy targeted? What did he represent other than like environmentalism, which the movie starts off with those shots of like no fishing, pollution, no swimming pollution. And then later on we have the Gravediggers going for a swim in kind of a, odd scene. I'm just like, okay, are we getting an environmental message here? I'd like to know a little bit more about that as well.
Hold on. That's the thing when I said that it's disparate, because it feels like it's trying to cram 8 million different things into this movie. And Sandy Harbutt directed, produced, and co-wrote the film with Michael Robinson. And I think Sandy Harbutt may have wanted to leave the writing to someone else who had a little bit more of a focused idea for what the narrative was going to be. Or maybe it's Michael Robinson who did it, I don't know, one or the other, but maybe both, didn't seem to have a grasp of where they wanted the story to go logically, and it ends up just kind of meandering and not ever going anywhere. I mean, you have an interesting idea where this undercover cop is not actually undercover. He just shows up, like you said, and he's like, hey, I'm here. Time to help you guys out. But then it goes nowhere. And that we're led to believe that he's like becoming more in tune with the Gravedigger mentality, but it never goes anywhere. And then the end of the film is him getting murdered by them.
Had we gotten,
what the fuck?
Maybe if we'd gotten introduced to Stone before we just see him on the motorcycle with the long hair and everything, and known a little bit more about him outside of life, other than that he's got a girlfriend who is kind of on the upper crust and all this kind of stuff. It's like, I want to know more of this guy and see that conflict that he has with, coming into this group and starting to empathize with these people. I want a little bit more.
Yeah, because
of that.
At the end of the film, when they're like, give us this assassin guy who's been killing our biker mates, and he's like, no, I need to take him in. I got to book him. They're like, well, fine, fuck you. It's like, it's not even a tense standoff. I didn't believe for a second that he was going to go with the bikers, so he totally should have. But like, I didn't believe for a second that his character actually had any leanings to go and join the gang for real, right?
Yeah. No, I never got that feeling like, oh, he's in danger here. You know, he is, to go back to Cruising, he is Al Pacino who's now thinking about leaving Karen Allen and staying in the gay lifestyle. Like, there's none of that kind of thing here where it's just like, oh yeah, this guy's going to give up everything and become a biker for life.
Yeah, it's like, that's not happening, clearly. And trying to, like, shoehorn that in right at the end of the film is not good. It's actually, it feels ham-fisted. And I think that that's the biggest disappointment, is that they had an interesting idea and it goes nowhere.
I'm so curious what the other almost half an hour of this film was. You know, when it came out, it was 132 minutes and it's cut down for video to 98 minutes. I can't imagine a longer version of this.
It already feels too long. Were there more fucking monologues about how much you love riding with your best mates down on the highway? Like, I don't know what they, unless it was more stuff to build out the conflict, the internal conflict between Stone and, like, whether he wants to be with the Gravediggers or not. I mean, they even try to shoehorn it in at the end where he's like, no cops. Like, why? You're not with them? Like, you're gonna die, you fucking idiot. Like, what are you talking about?
I know there was a scene, they showed in that Stone Forever documentary, of Roger Ward as Hooks with some panties, and he's sniffing the panties and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know if this would have added to the plot necessarily at all, but yeah, I mean, more character building stuff would have been absolutely fine, because like I said, I want to know more about these people, and I want to know more about Stone especially. But yeah, I mean, for a movie that's named after this guy, he's kind of a cipher at the end of the day.
Well, he's a cipher who ends up dying. Which, and that's the problem that I have with this movie, is that, like you said, you name this movie after this character and you get no sense of who the character actually is. He seems kind of like, I don't know, a follower, not a leader. And I never get the sense that he was going to join them at the end, or that he had any internal conflict or anything. Can you imagine watching The Departed and never getting a sense of Leonardo DiCaprio's character, or Infernal Affairs, excuse me, because The Departed is not as good as the original, but can you imagine not getting a sense of the character's internal struggle as to whether or not he wants to stay in the life or, like, go back to being a cop?
No, that's a good comparison.
Because, like, in this film, that's essentially what they've set up, and then they don't deliver at the end. And if you can't deliver on the promise of a struggle, an internal struggle for the main title character, then why are you giving the title character the focus to begin with?
I was happy to see some of the people that showed up in this. I really like Bill Hunter, who played the barman. I don't know if he looked familiar to you or not, but he has been in, or he passed away a few years ago. He was in like over 100 things, including some of my favorite things like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Gallipoli, and of course Kangaroo Jack. But no, he's one of these like Australian actors who just would show up in almost everything. I think he was even one of the sharks in Finding Nemo.
I mean, you don't like Kangaroo Jack?
Honest, I've never actually watched Kangaroo Jack.
He was in Legends of the Guardians Owls of Ga'Hoole. Ga'Hoole, dude. I'll tell you what, though, because I kind of glossed over it. Hugh Keays-Byrne, he's going to show up 3 more times this month, right? Because he's in Mad Dog Morgan, and he's also in The Man from Hong Kong.
And I think Bill Hunter's going to show up in Mad Dog Morgan as well.
I mean, look, the films are being made in Australia. It's not that Australia is a small country, but it's a small movie-making community in the 70s.
Exactly. At this time, the industry is in its nascent days. We're just going to see these same guys over and over again in all of these movies. It's like when we do Check Timber on the projection booth. It's like, oh yeah, this guy was in that movie, and this woman was over here, and this director was the writer on this one. It's a very, very small, closed community at this point.
Yeah, and I'm for one am thankful that Hugh Keays-Byrne is going to show up again, because he's, like we said, he's the best part of this movie. It's definitely not Ken Shorter, who no fault of his own is given nothing.
No, he doesn't really have much
at
all.
Which is unfortunate considering how this film is named for his character. Like, Jesus Christ. Come on. It's weird to me. You have the title character and he does nothing all film. Can you imagine Indiana Jones and just like not giving a shit about his character? Like, what the hell? It's a little strange to me that the character of Stone is not given proper characterization or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I do like his introduction, though, with that groovy music. I mean, there's a lot of groovy music in this movie. And
it's a cool
when they cut to him
movie.
And he's on his bike and he's all in white and he's got this blonde hair. It's just like, oh, wow, look at this guy, the man in white riding into the rescue.
It's it should have been that, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
To your point, as far as the look of it goes, I like a lot of the look, and I like when people are tripping on drugs and the camera will go out of focus. It's kind of a nice effect.
At the beginning, I was like, they're not going to do this whole movie, are they? When Hugh Keays-Byrne is like on the building trying to see the guy who's going to shoot the activist. But I was like, oh, they're not going to do this whole movie because it's going to get really annoying. And they do it throughout the film, but it's not as grating as I thought it was going to be.
I think it's him later on when he takes a big toke on a joint and then the camera goes out of focus as he's taking that inhale. It's like, oh, that's a nice thing.
But also, I'd like to point out that Stone is such a boring-ass character that he didn't even smoke weed in the movie. Like, dude, you're undercover.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's Australia. Wasn't it legal there?
Probably not. Probably not. I would err on this. It's not Michigan.
It's not Amsterdam. Mike. It's the little differences.
Yeah, there's the little things in life that are different, like the fact that this is Australia. And I do like the fact, and this is something that, again, I think we haven't really touched on, Australia was in the 70s, and still is to some extent, ripe for biker films. Because the country has nothing in the center. I mean, I don't know if you have. I've been very fortunate in my lifetime to be able to travel internationally. I've been to Australia. And going from Sydney to Ayers Rock, which is in the middle of the desert, was like a couple-hour flight. And it's like the middle of nowhere. And so this country is perfect for bikers because you have long stretches of highway in the middle of nowhere where bikers can just ride around and do whatever the hell they want. Or you can have serial killers in the desert like Wolf Creek. I mean, that's the thing about Australia that's so fun as a country is that it has such an interesting like terrain that's so varied in spots that it really has all kinds of things that you can really take advantage of as a filmmaker. And I'm hoping that we see that this month with a film like this where it's kind of like, it's in Sydney, but it's also kind of a little bit in the countryside. I'm hoping maybe the next film, The Man from Hong Kong, is more of like a city kung fu movie, which I'm thinking it's probably going to be with a name like The Man from Hong Kong. And I hope that The Man from Hong Kong is actually given some characterization.
Named after
I'm pretty sure that 3 of the 4 movies this month are named for the title character. Stone, The Man from Hong Kong, Mad Dog Morgan.
Right.
Like, yeah. So, I know deep down that Mad Dog Morgan is going to be good, but that's because it has Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, there's a lot of making of stories that are just absolutely bizarre because it's Dennis Hopper.
And Dennis Hopper is, he's a weird dude, but it's fine because he played King Koopa in Super Mario Bros.
All is forgiven because of that.
And that movie is, it was real bad. Well, Mike, what would you give Stone?
Out of 5, I would probably give it a 3 because I actually watched this one a couple times. And if it was really bad, I wouldn't have watched it a few times. I think I'll get more out of it as I watch it. But yeah, it still really kind of drags in the middle there. And I wish that it didn't.
I give it a 2.5. There's a lot of promise. And just like look at the poster for the fucking movie. You've got like a skull with that hat, like the Australian Outback hat on, and it's like super stylized. I'm like, man, this is gonna be some badass movie. And then it's just kind of like, yeah, kind of, not really. But it has some interesting ideas, but I think the execution leaves something to be desired, unfortunately. Which it's a film from the 70s. This is somewhat indicative of that era as well when it comes to low-budget indie filmmaking, is sometimes the scripts weren't that strong, but the ideas were. And that, you could agree, right? Like, they're great ideas, but sometimes the scripts were just, like window dressing for an interesting
sometimes
idea.
There's too many of them. Sometimes there's just completely off the wall things that happen. There's that weird scene when they go in and the guy's just playing all those instruments. I'm like, what am I watching right now?
It's a hodgepodge of a lot of things that are cool, interesting, bizarre, any number of those things added or mixed together. And again, it's a film that's feels like a film from the 70s, acts like a film from the 70s, and lands like a film from the 70s. But it's an important film for Australian filmmaking, and especially what it would lead into, which is, a seminal Australian film in the Mad Max franchise. So, but let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the next Kulturecast.
So, Skrulls are the bad guys. And you're a Cree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes. life began the day it nearly ended. We found you. With no memory, we made you one of us. So you could live longer, stronger, superior. You were reborn.
I keep having these memories. Something in my past is the key to all of this.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Would you like to know what you really are?
I think I had a life here. What aren't you telling me?
You've come a long way, but you're not as strong as you think. This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
Aren't you the cutest little thing? Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's you? I'll be back.
So on the next Kulturecast, we're going to be talking about Marvel's latest film. We're going to take a little bit of a break from Ozploitation, and we're going to talk about Captain Marvel, film I'm not personally excited for. No, it's not because I hate women, Mike. Thank you for asking ahead of time. It's because I don't like Samuel L. Jackson.
Like Samuel L. Jackson?
He just plays himself now, and it feels kind of lazy. He used to be good. I mean, he did. Whether or not you think he's good now, he was great in the 90s and the 80s. But, like, he's kind of playing himself, scream, say weird things, say the N-word a bunch if you work with Tarantino, which gives Tarantino, I guess, some sort of sick satisfaction. Hey, man. So when you're not here talking with me about Ozploitation films or God knows what, where can people find you?
They can find me over at projectionboothpodcast.com. And also, we are co-hosts on a few other podcasts, such as the Kolchak Tapes, which is at kolchaktapes.com, and Dreams for Sale, which is available at twilightzone85.com.
Yeah, we do a lot of podcasting together. And there are no other people I'd rather do like 5 podcasts with. So So that's a plus. And plus, Kolchak's great. And if you don't know what Kolchak is, take it upon yourself to go on over and find out, because it's another 70s thing. It's another one of those things from the 70s. So lots of good ideas, but interesting execution sometimes. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Kulturestash. Kulturecast.com is where you can check out the RSS feed and all the episodes for the Kulturecast. Should head on over there. We also have a Patreon if you want to give a couple dollars to us, make us watch movies like Tiptoes. Thank you so much. That movie was a true cinema classic. But make sure to check out the next Kulturecast.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family and available wherever you get your podcasts.